What's up, Beer League hockey fans, fellow dumpers, and dry humpers? Welcome to another Dump and Skate podcast. I am the Co Bender, podcast interview scheduler, on and off the ice ball buster, Jeremy. I apparently train for free Abdu. With me is the man that makes this podcast possible, the lead producer, the guy with a face and voice for podcasting, Savannah League and Jacksonville tourney manager, Jeremy. I'm getting at the age where I shouldn't trust a fart Holland.
Man, what is up? What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? Welcome in to another exciting episode of Dump and Skate. We are glad you guys are here with us. Holy smokes, these intros are getting out of hand. Man.
You good? Are you all right there, bud?
That was a lot to process on the intro. I'm not even gonna lie, that was a whole bunch to process. Oh gosh. All right. Yeah. So, man, what's up? What's going on?
It feels like forever that we've done a podcast. I told you that I'm going through podcast withdrawals, hockey withdrawals, and it's weird doing a podcast in the middle of the day on a weekday.
100%. Yeah. I had a sick kid today, so I was able to come home and have some time to do that. Yeah. And last week was crazy busy. So my oldest son graduated on Saturday. They did the graduation ceremony. But they had honors day and stuff last week for seniors and things like that. And then I had my ninth grade son was involved in honors day too. So last week was kind of a hectic day. And then my middle brother, who you've never met, but he graduated this weekend as well. So last week was a super hectic week. So I'm glad that we've arrived here at a new week where it's a little less hectic, even though I'm starting the day off at home because I have a sick kid. So not a good start to the week here. So, oh man. How about you? How's the week been? Or how was last week?
You know what? I'm just happy to be able to sleep in my own bed tonight after 5 nights of Yorkie terrorism. I have been house sitting for my sister. She took my brother-in-law on a surprise cruise for his birthday, and I've been this dog. I'm telling you, I think I told you this. Forget waterboarding for any kind of torture. Just put whoever we're going to torture, put this Yorkie in the room with them for 24 hours, and you'll crack. You'll crack. You'll give them any information that they want and everything.
I was gonna say the dog will get whatever info the dog needs 100%. Out of whoever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dogs, right? Mine will probably make a nice surprise cameo here in a minute. They were just yelling in the background before we jumped on, so I'm sure they'll yell again. I watched my brother's dog, so that was exciting. We had extra dogs in the house over the weekend too. Lots of fun. Oh yeah, Mother's Day. Mother's Day was Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Happy Mother's Day, belated to all the moms out there.
To all the moms out there.
Yeah, and the non-moms that act like moms, the teen moms and things like that. So yeah, shout out to all of the ladies in our lives that act like moms. To my wife and my mom and mother-in-law. All of them. Love you guys very much. So, well, what's up? Before we go any farther and we really get started in today's topics and things like that, I want to give a quick shout out to our good friends at B&R Sports. They are the go-to for all of your equipment needs, which is a good thing because that's going to be a little bit of what we discussed today is equipment. So you need jerseys made, custom logos, the whole 9 yards. They can do that as well. brsport.com. Give those guys a chance to earn your business. Like we said before, they ship just as quick as any of the other more well-known big box hockey shops. But we know some of these guys personally. And so would appreciate you guys supporting their business because they've been supportive towards us. They've done a heck of a job on the things we needed to order. Like when your dog chews up your helmet, and you have to get another one. B&R Sport can get you a new one pretty quick. So yeah, big shout out, brsport.com. Give those guys some business. And then if you have not done this and you are listening to this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are listening to this or watching this and you have not done those things, what is wrong with you? just knock it off already. Come on. We know you love the podcast because you're listening. So support us. Every like, every subscribe, all of that stuff, every share. It helps game the algorithm. It gets us out there more. We got an email this week that we're not going to share much about, but we did get an email this week that said, hey, we are some form of ranked podcast now. It's not a good ranking, but at least we have a ranking. So we're kind of on the radar. So that's why we're not going to share it. So, but yeah.
Help us with the ranking, people.
Spitting Chicklets, boys. We're coming for you. So we've thrown down the gauntlet now. So, but yeah, we know you guys are listening. We hear we get the text, we get to see the comments. Appreciate you guys showing us love. Keep showing it. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and follow the social medias. Abdu does a killer job with all of that. We got a new celly that we're going to trial out here in a couple weeks down in Jacksonville, hopefully, and then give it a full blown run in Nashville. See if we can get some photos and videos of it. And if you guys saw the cryptic social media post of what did we say? It was Rose and Jack. Yeah, we got a little Rose and Jack Sally, little Titanic Sally coming.
You can just call it Jack and Rose.
Jack and Rose. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're gonna be Jack and Rose.
There you go. Nice. I don't want to be Jack though. I don't really want to be Rose either.
Can we make
this a Sally that you do? Can we make this a Sally that you do?
Rose. I meant like you're gonna be jacking Rose.
No, that doesn't even make any sense.
It could.
This needs to be. I feel like this needs to be a you. This needs to be a you and Pete Selly, or like a you and Ponton Selly. We should make Cooch be Rose and you be Jack. That would be comical. That would be really good.
That would be comical.
Because Cooch is much larger than you.
Well, then if we're going about size, how about it's like Cooch and Rossi?
Is Rossi that much shorter than you?
I feel like
we're gonna have to stand you guys up in the doorpost.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to stand you up in the doorpost. No, you'll have to leave your specialty shoes at home, so that we get an accurate height measurement. Okay.
My pumps
can't be using your pumps, your athletic pumps, man. So, well, this past week, you knew this. I was so the kid, we talked about this. I don't know, probably the last pod. My youngest, Aiden, made the travel squad here. So we're going from some of his first timers equipment and trying to do a little bit of upgrading and things. And so because he's outgrowing stuff, trying not to spend a ton of money on equipment, because I'm sure I'll buy something now in 6 months to be like, hey, look, I grew 4 inches. These shin guards don't fit anymore. So definitely hit up Sideline Swap, did some hunting around looking for some shinnies. What do we look for? Some skates for him, and got him some new gloves. I think that's it. Yeah, the only other thing really that he needs is probably some pants and a helmet, but I think his pants are okay. He's just so dang skinny, and so I really can't get him a next size up in pants. But the helmet's doing its job for now. We swapped the cage out, so he's rolling. But yeah, all that stuff started coming in, and then ordered myself a couple of things. Because I have a whelp on the side of my leg where my 20-some-odd-year-old shin guards just don't seem to have the same amount of protection that the new ones do. And so couldn't find what I'm looking for. Apparently is going out of, I don't know.
I just think with the clearance sale, everybody's just going on
everybody's going nuts. Yeah. So slid into B&R trying to find the couple of pads that I was looking for, because I was looking for some specific ones. They didn't have my size anymore. And since all the new equipment's coming out, it doesn't sound like it's something that they're going to be reordering them all. So I started looking on Sideline myself. And so got a couple things that came in. Some elbow pads came in. We're a little in limbo on the shin guards. We're still working on that one. Nothing like purchasing something and then the guy going dark on you right after you send him some money. So I don't have a good feeling about that. But talking about equipment, we want to talk a little bit about, I just labeled the show The Equipment Show, but it's not really like a, hey, this is what we think about elbow pads, and hey, this is what we think about shin pads, because that's kind of weird. And there's the dog. And that's not really what we're doing. What we're really talking about is, and I don't have a good concise way to say this, but like, what's the proper equipment you wear for beer league hockey? And it's specifically about
style?
Like,
what's your style?
I guess it's not even really style. So like, okay, so one that's really relevant because of James, the last interview we did, is shoulder pads. So I don't think that there may be one or two guys I skate with that wear shoulder pads up in my A league. There's probably, I don't know, 10, maybe 20 guys out of about 80 roughly in the A league that wear shoulder pads. It's just not a ton of guys that do it. It was my question when I hadn't played in 10, 11 years was, did I need to, was I supposed to wear shoulder pads? Coming back and playing in a beer league, and was told, no, you don't have to, and realized a bunch of guys don't. And I told you, like, the shoulder pads I have had lived in my attic. They had ones I had since I was in college. And so they, I think there's some old like CCM Vectors or something. They may be post-college shoulder pads. But they smell a little bit like rat pee because they were in my attic and definitely had some rats get into the hockey bag and destroy a few things. So I was glad not to have to wear shoulder pads, but this brought up a discussion where you and I were talking about, hey, should you wear them? Should you not wear them? We had James on, obviously, who talked about an awkward fall, and I didn't really get into it there, but I don't know that shoulder pads would have saved him from breaking anything. I mean, so I had reconstructive shoulder surgery when I was 16. I dislocated my shoulder, and I had somebody make some offhand comment about, well, if you're wearing shoulder pads, you probably wouldn't have dislocated your shoulder. Like, I don't know how that works. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And the reason I say that is one of my buddies from high school played football, and they all wear shoulder pads when they play. And those are way, way, way different than a pair of hockey shoulder pads, but they're way more like straight on impact resistant because of what's happening in football. And he dislocated his shoulder playing football. So the whole argument of like, well, you'd have saved your shoulder if you'd have had shoulder pads. I don't know that I buy it. So
dislocation is different than a broken clavicle.
I know. I got you. But it didn't sound like James made impact like on the boards with his clavicle. It's like he fell into the boards, like the impact of like the shoulder hitting and the pressure or whatever. This dog, she's so ridiculous. She's standing 3 inches from my golden retriever's face yelling at him, and I don't even know why. It's like, does he have a ball or something? Like, I have no clue. She's going to do it again. She's pacing around him. So I don't know where we're at. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, if James, we should have elaborated on this. If James went into the boards, the shoulder pads could have saved him. It just depends on how you go into the boards,
How you take the impact.
Yeah. I didn't start wearing shoulder pads up until this past season, October, is when I started wearing shoulder pads, and I'm glad I did. There's been a few times where I bumped into somebody. I don't like them because I've always played, like, I'm 48. I've played most of my men's league without shoulder pads. It took a little bit of adjustment, but you do feel more comfortable. So you feel safer out there almost. But you feel a little more restricted. But in the C League, I feel like you kind of have to versus an A League, I'm just trying to think through, like, when I wore them, the last time I would have worn them regularly would have been in college. And so my biggest concern was giving and receiving checks, so that I wasn't doing it bare shouldered, basically. And then any sort of, but see, I didn't play defense in college, so this wasn't even really a major concern for me, but like high shots that would hit you potentially in the chest. And so a chest protector is going to help stop that. Now, playing as a D guy, as I've had to do in A League, like, maybe a chest protector would be helpful just in case a stray shot comes up. But like, it's a non-checking league. I'm not hitting guys, so I'm really not worried about it. So there are some wildfire shots.
Totally agree.
And that's happened before in Chicago. There's a guy that I play with, and he has probably the most wicked shot that I've ever seen anyone that I played hockey with ever. And he used to play goalie, but he's hit a few people, and it's just like Mighty Ducks, where he winds up and everyone gets out of the way.
Yeah, see, that guy, I would tell that guy, like, stop shooting from the point. Like, you're not allowed to. You're just not allowed to.
He's been labeled as a B skater, but just because of his shot, just because his shot is intense.
I would tell him.
And it's, like, scary. Hey, it's scary.
Just enough already. Like, it's not even like, hey, I'm playing against you, I don't want to get it. It's like, hey, I'm on your team. I'm sick of ducking out of the way. Stop doing this. This is absurd. Like, I don't want to have to come out here and bubble wrap because you're an idiot don't know how to aim a shot. Like, it's not worth anything at that point. Like, it's just stop already, stop. So I don't know. I mean, there's a guy that skates with us in A-League that wears one of the padded like hockey shirts, like what the little kids wear. And so he wears those instead of shoulder pads, and his is kind of like, hey, incidental contact. Like, if I do catch an elbow or something to the chest, I just don't want to get hurt, essentially. And then same thing, kind of like with shots. He's exclusively a winger, and so again, I don't know. I just and then you talking about shoulder pads when you said you were all fired up that one game, and you told the guy you were going to take your shoulder pads off.
I did take my shoulder pads off.
I was really confused. I was like, what the heck does that even mean? You're like, oh, so I can, like punch guys easier. And I'm like, that's a lot of effort to like threaten something that you're not even actually really going to do. Like, that just, oh, come on. Big.
I can't wait to go toe to toe with you in Jacksonville next week during warm-ups.
Big pussy willow over there is all you are. Like, come on. Daisy picker over there. I'm taking my shoulder pads off. Whatever.
I feel like you're picking
so I don't know. It's not picking on you. But like,
so wait, if your shoulder pads didn't smell like rat piss, would you
no
be wearing them? You wouldn't wear them. So why don't you wear shoulder pads? Give me one reason why you don't wear shoulder pads.
They are restrictive.
100% they are.
And so I'm not. If I was playing, I'm a winger. I've always been a winger. I've always hated wearing shoulder pads, especially if I grew up playing roller. We didn't wear them, and so because roller was a non-contact. And so when I got into college, I had to, wear them all the time. And so I had to relearn how to move, how to stick handle, how to pass, and everything with basically something straight. And again, when I was, playing back in 02, 03, 04, that area in college, the equipment was way different than what it is now. So obviously, and I know that I've gotten some equipment in that's like, it feels bigger, but more flexible than old stuff I have that was minimal equipment anyway. So, but I'm sure shoulder pads today are probably you have more range of movement in shoulder pads today than 100%. You did back in 2002. Like, I clearly understand
so much more
that.
mobility, so much more mobility.
I guess playing in A-League too, like you said, if down in C League or even maybe in a B League when that kind of gets rolling this next season, like maybe there's going to be guys that are taking stray shots that are all over the place. And maybe at that point, I'm like, hey, I'm probably going to put on a pair of shoulder pads. Like, I don't want to catch one to the chest and break something. And then it would be just basically like, hey, I'm using something as an impact resistance. But like, I can avoid contact. Like, I've playing now 3 seasons, I've not had an issue with like, hey, this guy's coming in and oh crud, I couldn't pull up in time, and he shoulder to my chest. Now, I mean, we talked about. When we talked about championship games, we talked about Pete taking a pretty good thump from one of my guys. And that was Pete's a guy that should be able to avoid contact too. This was not about Pete not being able to avoid it. Pete wasn't expecting it. So in that same line of thinking, like, there could be a time where, hey, I'm rolling up the ice and I'm not expecting to get hit, and I do. And it may crumple me pretty good where I'm like, hey, maybe I will put on like a padded shirt or something to protect from some shoulder contact. But the majority of the guys that I'm playing against in A are not wearing shoulder pads too. So those guys are all trying to avoid contact as well. I mean, so it's, I don't know. There's just not a ton of contact. There's not a lot of dirty play that's really happening out there. And so the biggest thing I would put them on for is if I was worried about taking shots to the chest, basically.
Yeah.
Pucks to the chest. I just want to be really clear before you take that somewhere it doesn't need
I was
to go.
going to. I was going to.
You were. That's why I clarified. That's why I clarified.
All
so,
right, well,
so that's why why did you put them on?
I played in the C League last year without any shoulder pads, and you get a couple good cross checks, like we talked about it before.
Yep.
A guy hit me from behind.
Yep.
A couple cross checks, just some guys that just, again, like we talked about, just watch too much NHL thinking.
Yeah.
And it's never been like that in other leagues that I've played in. It was down here, so I would rather be safe
than hospitalized. Yeah.
Yes. And like I said, it saved me from a bump when Corey ran into me. It was completely on accident, but I like to say it was on purpose.
Yeah, no, when you got in Corey's way, we understand what was really going on.
I had the puck.
Yeah, you get out of his way with the puck. I mean, I don't understand why this is such a difficult concept for you to understand. So yeah, no, I agree. If I were still playing as a winger this year, there may be, again, even last year when I talked about, getting kind of raked down my back,
Yeah.
with cross checks and stuff in front of the net, and like across the top of my arm, like
Right.
high bicep here and on tricep. I would just skate away from it. Like I never stayed there in that. Like if a guy wanted me to move and that was the way he was going to move me, I was like, all right, I'm out. It's beer league hockey. I'm not trying to get, I don't want, I don't need the McDavid treatment from the
Did
Canucks.
you see
era.
that hit?
That was freaking awful. I sent you a message. It was like, again, I don't know NHL rules well enough. I mean, I understand the rules, but like that is suspension worthy. Like there's no question, like both of them. And I didn't even realize it was post game, right? Like it was after the buzzer had gone off or something.
I think so. So what we're talking about is Sunday night's game, Mother's Day game. McDavid took a cross check to the back as he was falling forward. He was facing another Canuck. As he was falling forward, the Canuck just cross checked him right to the face, all simultaneous. Like,
yeah, and I don't think the cross check. Yeah, I don't think the cross check in the face was an intentional. Like I'm lining you up for your face.
No, because it's
I think he was trying to get him like in his arms. Yeah, but there's a door off character.
Down. He was
chopped him from the back. Yeah, and so that's like. Yeah, that's crazy. That's just nuts.
But again, shoulder pads wouldn't stop that. But that's the kind of play that you do want to have yourself protected.
Yeah, and if I was still getting that kind of treatment and stuff in front of the net, maybe I would contemplate putting them on. And again, maybe there is a time where I'm like, hey, look, I'm kind of sick of getting dinged with sticks or whatever. And so, like I said, I've been playing mostly D. So my biggest concern is taking slap shots to the chest. And actually, my bigger concern over shoulder pads would be my face. Which is the other piece of equipment we said we really wanted to talk about, which was, well, there's actually two pieces here, which is cages, bubbles, half shields are like nothing. So I know when I turned 18, the cage came off, and I've played hockey ever since with no cage. When I took my 10 years off. Well, that's a lie. I was in college. I had to keep the cage on. So I wore a cage all through college. And then as soon as I was done playing college hockey, the cage came off permanently off of every helmet. So, when I came back this last year to play for the first time in 10, 11 years, I had bought a helmet, and then I immediately was like, I should probably buy like a half visor just to, I'm older. I need to just kind of be protective. I was watching some NHL games and noticed literally almost every player had it. I was like, well, apparently that's the norm now. So I guess that's what I need to go to, put on the visor and realize like, it's actually not really like the norm. Like it's all over the map. Guys wear cages, guys wear bubbles, guys wear half visors, a bunch of guys that still wear nothing. And if you're watching on the YouTube right now, the backgrounds you use are quite comical. The water bottle, you can see right through it. So it just looked like you were drinking a piece of the rink. That was comical. Anyways, so I bought the half visor. It's a cheap, crappy half visor. I remember the name brand of it. Was never a big fan of it. Wasn't even a big fan of the helmet. Peeled the helmet off. Bought a nice proper helmet this year. Bought a proper visor for it as well.
Did you notice a difference?
Yeah, the Bauer proper visor is way, way better. It doesn't. So part of what was going on was the cheap visor was like spreading my helmet width-wise because it was so tight, and the attachment mechanisms weren't very good, and so it was spreading it on my head, which was causing my helmet to like squish front to back. And I think the helmet fit was just a bad fit. It just wasn't a good fit for my head. So looked at some of the stuff you guys had, specifically you had, like the helmet, ordered the helmet, went ahead and ordered the Bauer visor. No, problem solved. Like the helmet fits way better. The visor does a good job. The visor also stays, I think, cleaner, better than the other visor did.
Yeah.
And so that's helpful as well. So, but yeah, took the puck to the chin partway through this season, went and bought the very, very well-known now, matter of fact, the very, very popular with so many of you. Yeah, so many of you, the Dusty White Cage. Bought it. It's a size too small, so it's a medium. It didn't fit. Hated it. Couldn't see the puck. Felt like I was staring at my toes the whole time, and actually peeled that off after one period of wearing it, and actually played the rest of the season with no visor, no cage, no nothing. It was perfectly fine. So, but the only reason to me I would put the cage back on is if I felt like I had a lot of pucks coming up high around my face. I mean, I've gotten hit in the face with a stick. Ponton actually busted my lip playing roller last season, I think, and I had a half visor on and all. And so I've been hit in the mouth a couple times
And you
playing
won't go
ice
full
and all.
cage?
I mean, if somebody knocks a tooth out, that might change my mind. And I'm not asking for that.
Yeah, but why
But
wait?
it's just
Why wait for that to happen? So
'cause
that's why I went
see through. I can't see through the cage. I've just gotten so used to
bubble.
not having it in front of my
go
face.
bubble.
The bubbles are so weird. I don't know that I'll be able to. I just don't think I'll be able to do the bubble either. They fog so bad. If we're playing in a proper rink, I might be able to do a bubble. But
You
the
can go
rink we're
bubble
playing
during
right
the
now
winter
is-
time here. The weather's not that foggy.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm back to the half visor. The half visor is back on the helmet, so I can keep my eyes and my nose relatively safe. And so,
like you, as soon as I turned 18, I went right to the visor. But the visor that I had was the same ones that players were using in the 90s, the ITAC.
the big giant with like
Yeah, that's
no,
yeah. No, it didn't curve. It was just a
just the
ITAC.
big
I
flat.
I like the straight cut. And then what? Two incidences that changed. I went right back to a full cage. My friend Aaron and Jason, playing it all seasons, both of them got hit and lost teeth, and just that was like that was the one. Like Aaron had his tooth chipped, and a bloody lip, and I'm like, maybe, maybe not. Then Jason lost like his whole front like teeth and just spitting out chips of his teeth. And I'm like, I'm going cage. I'm going cage just for that. And it wasn't like the guy was a bad play. It was just one of those awkward things where the stick went up
Awkward
and
things.
just
Yeah.
and he had a mouth guard in too. So I don't think he was wearing it properly. I think he was kind of doing like the Patrick Kane, but
I
he
was
still
gonna say
had the
that's
mouth
what I
guard
did
in.
too.
But,
Yeah, I had a mouth guard for a little bit that I just chewed on and stuff. Hey, run for a second. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, so it's just me. I'll talk about mouth
You're
guards.
good. You got it.
So I'm not a mouth guard guy. I know that people in the league wear guards. If you are going to wear a mouth guard and you talk to me, take the damn thing out. I can never understand what people are saying with a mouth guard, and even if it's a fitted mouth guard, please take it out and talk to me. You'll see a lot of people in the NHL when they're talking trash, they take their mouth guard out, spit it into their glove, and then just start talking. It's so hard to hear people talk. My buddy Cooch, captain of the Zeros, he does that. There was one time where in between periods, and he was just talking, and I go, "What the fuck did you just say? I have no idea what you just said. Have no idea." And then he takes his mouth guard out. So Holland can vouch for me in that. I was just talking about how people talk with their mouth guards out. Take it out.
Okay.
And Cooch,
Rob,
just like
you talking about Rob?
Yeah, yes. That's
Ponton
exactly
does
what I
it
said.
too. Ponton wears a mouth guard pretty regularly and tries to talk to you, and I'm like, what? Huh?
Oh,
Rob
that's
is
what I
really
said.
bad though. Rob
No,
sounds
Rob-
like he's got a mouthful of cookie dough. I mean, like it's just like
more.
oh, this will
more-
be a good one for you.
It-
This will be a good one for you. It's like a mouthful of Play-Doh. It's like he's just been shoving.
Stop. For Cooch, it's more like a mouthful of chicken and steak and protein. Just
Eats
like
a-
solid
Six
protein.
slices. 6 slices of
and then
mellow
he'll look at
mushroom
you.
pizza.
He'll look at you
like you're
like
an
for a
idiot.
response. For a response. But I'm looking at his chest for subtitles because I can't.
Sorry. You need a signer. You need somebody that signs for
Oh
him.
yeah,
Somebody's
someone that
done,
skates out there and does sign language, a translator. No, that's too many men on the ice. No. It's fine. It's his translator.
It's okay. It's a lady. She's in all black. She clearly is wearing no protective gear, just some figure skates. She's just signing so everyone can understand what Rob's saying with his mouthpiece in.
But I don't go. I don't go mouth guard.
Subtitles.
I'll wear a full cage. I'm
The
not
mouth
a fan
guard
of
is
the cage.
Mouth guard is just a concussion protocol thing, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not really
for impact.
saving your teeth.
It can save your teeth, but
Just
because
your
when
top
you get
teeth, though.
yeah, when you get a nice mouth guard, it says, "Oh, take care of like $10,000
dental work and all that stuff. Yeah, just about.
But-
I'm not trying to brand hawk here, but I have two different shock doctors, and I put a mouthpiece in thinking like teeth protection, and then I bought them both. I bought what I thought was a relatively thin one, and it wasn't. And I didn't like it. It was bulky and it just was irritating. And I just chewed on it half the time anyways.
Yeah.
And so then I bought a thinner one that my dog actually destroyed. But
No,
I did wear it.
What?
It's so
Your
weird,
dog
right?
chewed something up, like
So
hockey gear
weird.
related?
So weird.
Wow,
It's
that's
crazy.
odd.
But yeah, so she killed that one. But that one was a little thinner one. But I ended up doing the same thing. I just chewed on it the whole time. I never left it in my mouth for exactly what you're talking about. Like I couldn't talk to anybody.
Mhm.
And so I would hang it out of the side of my mouth, gnaw on it. It was the Kachuk brothers, and like it was I looked like all of those guys. And so I never wore it right. The dog chewed it up, and I was like, all right, forget it. I'm just not going to get another one. So I should probably put it on if I'm going to wear the half visor and not a full cage. I should probably put the mouthpiece in and leave it in. And like you said, a lot of them have, I think almost every shock doctor has some kind of like dental work warranty type thing to it. I've good luck trying to get the money out of them is all I got to say. Like, I don't know that you're actually going to get anything from them. Like the warranty is only as good as the check that they actually send when you need it. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not a cage guy because I can't see out of it. Like you, I'm probably going to have an experience.
Yeah.
But I told you, we had a guy on my team like 2 weeks before I took one to the chin. He took a wrist shot to the mouth and it knocked out his 2 front teeth. And he went immediately to be a bubble guy. I'm pretty sure he was like a half visor guy, but it was a fluky thing. He got dumped in front of the net, and shot came right after he got dumped. And
here's the thing: in the C League down here, why risk it? You know, you get
I know.
You get a couple of guys thinking there's
like I said, there are a lot of good guys that wear full cages. One of my good buddies, Matt Green, took a stick to I think it was knocked out a couple teeth playing roller, and he was really mad. I mean, like he was ticked about it. He's between us, I think he's 46 years old, so he's been rolling without a cage, for as long as I've been rolling, a little longer than I've been rolling without a cage, and he was mad. He went and bought a helmet with a cage on it, and now he plays with a cage all the time. And so I don't know. It's just matter of fact, another buddy, Mike Mitchell, Mitchie has a busted lip. Because he said he went to was it Cape Cod? He was somewhere playing hockey and he went to like a little pickup or something, and a guy smashed him in the lip, and it split his lip open, and he's still got a like goofed up upper lip from the scar and everything where he got hit, and Mitchie still runs around with no cage on. So
I got a great story now that you say that. My friend Aaron Blattner, really good friend, played with him. He gave me a really bad concussion, so bad that I had a cut on my eye, and I bit my tongue, and my tongue was swollen up. And thank God my mom doesn't listen to this podcast. She should, so we need more subscribers. But I had to tell because my mom loves him. My mom loves him. Like, she's the son that she never had. He's just a good guy. And my mom's like, "What happened to you? Why are you in the hospital? This and that." Couldn't even say, "Yeah, your favorite son Aaron hit me." Couldn't even say that. But
so this was a hockey hit.
Yeah, at pickup, me and Aaron.
Oh, okay. So he checked you.
He hit me pretty hard, and his girlfriend or wife at the time really laid into him. I had I think I had like 2 stitches. I can't even remember, but this is during the time where I was like, if you farted next to my head, I would have gotten a concussion. I was just really prone to getting concussions at this time in my life. Same thing, like I told you this, and my dad actually came to my condo, took away my skates because I wasn't supposed to be playing. They said, "You cannot be playing anymore." So me being quick-witted, I actually gave him my outdoor skates. Sorry, Dad. Sorry if you're listening. I gave him my outdoor skates and not my regular indoor skates.
More family shame on the podcast.
But yeah, there was
Sorry,
a time I had to take a serious break from hockey and everything. So
thanks a lot, Aaron. Jeez.
I'm actually wearing his shirt too. He owns Driftwood Lodge. If you guys ever
Nice.
Want to go on a vacation in Wisconsin.
If you happen to see him up there, make sure you concuss him one time for Ab and tell him this is for Abdu. Oh my gosh. He's going to have somebody walk in. He's going to have some random that heard this podcast walk in and punch him and be like, what the heck?
No,
That's
he's a
for
good
Abdu.
guy. I probably deserved it in the long run, but he's he's a good
You
dude.
could probably,
I didn't talk trash. I didn't talk trash to where it was
no,
just to pick
it
up.
would never
No,
be
no, no. I
you.
swear to Aaron, if you're listening, in the comments,
Because
please.
you have a filter when it's for pickup versus
This was
hockey.
like I was in my
Yeah.
20s still. I didn't talk trash.
Even better.
And it was at a pickup game. We were just happened to be on opposite teams, and he hit me so hard. I laid on the ice. He had to actually drive me home too. That was such a great time. Jeez. But yeah, mouth guard didn't help me. I bit my tongue.
Yeah.
It was so swollen.
Yeah, like I said, I'll probably get another mouth guard. I just like those slim ones. They're a little better fitting and all, but I
Get a flavored
hate,
mouth guard. Have you ever had one of those?
I don't like gum because it
that's right.
loses its flavor. I'm pretty sure the mouth guard would lose
All right,
its
well, then
flavor.
we'll get you a Chick-fil- We'll get you a Chick-fil-A mouth guard.
Chick-fil-A mouth guard. Be a perfect diet helper to anytime I feel hungry, my wife comes home and I'm sitting at the dinner table with the Chick-fil-A mouth guard in, drinking some water. What's your problem? I had a craving. I just had to get rid of it. Except for it'll sound like,
and then you look at her for her response.
I'll
like,
have
you
to
understand me.
I'll have to have my teleprompter on,
You
or not my
couldn't
teleprompter,
understand.
my subtitles on. I'll have to wear my subtitle necklace that day so she'll know what I'm saying. Get the corporate sign language.
What about ear guards? Are you an ear guard
I
guy?
peel them
You
off
talk
as
about-
soon as the helmet
You
comes
do?
in.
Why?
Yeah, because I
Why?
can't hear. So anything I'm doing, it's because like the cage is off and I'm wearing the visor because I have a hard time seeing through the cage. I've just not played with it forever. So it affects my ability to play hockey, I guess, the limited ability I have. So I need to keep as many restrictions off of me as possible. It's not a lot of good happening, especially then when you start restricting it.
You
So
can't hear
same thing with ear guards. I don't hear well with them. And so I peel them off. I used to always do it as a kid. And I remember playing college hockey. I had to keep them on. But college roller, it wasn't an issue until like 2004. And I remember being at a tournament and I got actually sent off the rink because I did not have the ear guards and I actually didn't have my chin strap. So I had to go tape up a chin strap on the helmet. And then I had to like rig up some kind of something I forget what I did, but I didn't have the ear guards. I'd thrown them away. So I had to come up with some ear guards that I could keep playing. So yeah, so I had some helmets that had some ear guards on them when I was younger, but it was all because of still playing collegiate affiliated hockey. So, but yeah, no, it's like the new helmet came in, the ear guards got peeled off immediately. I have 2 sets of them sitting on this table here. So I just don't like them. But same thing. I got an ear shot in roller. I had a guy take a slap shot and it came up high and I turned my head and it hit me and pinched and busted my ear. And then I actually had another buddy that does wear his ear guards and he was pinching a guy behind the net on ice. And the guy went to just basically lift the puck like way up and out of the zone, which I got some personal opinions on that. Like there's a time you should do that and there's a time you shouldn't. And when a guy's pressing down on you and is like 3 feet away from you, that's the wrong time to try to lift the puck up and over them because it just is never going to end well. And sure enough, this is like it rang my buddy in his ear and it actually busted his ear pretty bad through the ear guard. So he was like, oh man, if I wouldn't have had the ear guard, it'd been really bad. I'm like, I don't know. It looks pretty bad with the ear guard. I felt like the ear guard pinched his ear more than if the puck would have just hit it. So yeah, I'm not an ear guard guy, but I know there's guys that err on the side of caution that will listen to this and be like, oh, that Holland guy, he's a complete idiot. Like put a cage on, you moron. Like, what's your problem? You're going to get hit in the puck, face with a puck, like put the ear protectors back on. Like you're such a dummy. I saw a post here recently that was talking about gloves and it had a side-by-side picture of like some, it looked like Marchand's hands with like some Warrior gloves. That were like a lower cuff and obviously like the old gloves from the 70s that had the cuffs that went like halfway up your forearm, right? And it was like, oh, protective equipment's gotten so good about protecting you and blah, blah, blah. But the gloves have just gotten skimpier and skimpier. And I'm like, well, the things that guys are doing with their hands nowadays versus the things they were doing with their hands back in the 60s and 70s, like they're not even comparable. So the glove cuffs have gotten less restrictive in your like wrist movement, but the elbow pads have also gotten bigger. So yeah, there's like a little window of skin between the top of the cuff and the bottom of the elbow pad. But like, I don't know. I want to be able to play hockey. I don't want to feel like I'm wearing bubble wrap. Okay. Like I just want to be able to go play.
Back to the cage. Would you wear like the bubble, but just the jaw protection part and not the face mask part of the bubble. Those are cool.
I, I guess I don't know. I mean, why would I do that?
Um,
If I
it'll protect your stitches.
I feel like eye surgery. I feel like eye surgery is way more expensive than dental surgery. So
It'll
like if I'm trying to
your
protect
stitches.
something, yeah, I mean I guess, but like
Do both. Do both. Like
no. Do you want me to wear some rec specs? Just put some rec specs on with the jaw protector.
Yes.
I feel like this is all a suggestion just to make me look like an idiot. And so
ear guards to protect.
I can do that just
Why don't we
fine
just
without any
saran
help
wrap
from
your helmet
equipment.
and then drill some ear holes in.
I mean, while we're at it, I'll call my mom and my wife, and they can come wrap me in bubble wrap before I go actually get on the ice, and I can just be bubble boy while I play. No, I don't want to do any of that. So yeah, like I said, I know there are people that'll listen to this and be like, "You're such a dummy," Max protectors. Do you still wear your ear guards in your helmet? Do they stay in your helmet?
I've just never taken them off. It doesn't matter to me.
So so the only thing you're missing from like full blown bubble boy is the mouthpiece. Otherwise, your cage, ear protectors, shoulder pads, you're like the whole 9 yards right now.
I am, yeah. I even have the skate guard protectors, but I don't use them. I don't use them. I do not use them.
I felt like, you call the white cage dusty. I thought the shot protectors are like a dusty thing.
It is.
But I played in one of the little beer league tournaments with a guy who was a pretty good defenseman, and I noticed he had them on, and but he turned his foot sideways like constantly to block shots. And I was like, oh gosh, no wonder you're wearing shot protectors. Like I don't. I mean, I took a shot from the corner this year off the instep, and it hurt. It hurt bad. Like it took probably 4 weeks where my foot didn't hurt putting it back in my skate or longer. But that was a fluky thing. Like I wasn't expecting the guy to shoot, so I was turning to like stop and transition to go back towards the slot. And when I went to turn and stop, I opened up the inside of my left foot as I was hitting the brakes, and yeah, he got me pretty good from about 2-3 feet away. It stung pretty bad.
Those are the worst. That happened to me this season.
But I've seen some NHL guys with the shot protectors, and some of the guys have your boy Awanski has the pro stock skates with the what are they, like the Kevlar patches sewn on the outside of the skate.
I feel like you're still gonna feel a shot through that.
I don't know if it's just trying to stop the impact from being. I mean, feel it, yes, but like break something, maybe no. I don't know. Like I said, I've seen a lot of those on the pro stock sites and stuff where you can buy guys skates that have those extra Kevlar protectors or whatever they are sewn onto the outside of them. But I've still noticed here recently. I was looking at a clip of that goofball Radko, isn't his name Radko Gudas? And he was playing in it wasn't an NHL game, it was something else he was doing, and it looked like he had shot protectors on his feet. So
if I play competitive hockey, like really good hockey, I would probably wear them. I wouldn't wear the plastic shot blockers. I would wear like the nicer ones maybe. But the only reason why I have mine is someone gave them to me brand new. They're like, I don't want these, just take them.
I would have to call Marola and get Marola to like make a decorative design for my shot blockers so they looked really cool. Yeah, bedazzle them, like a bunch of pink and purple like sequins all over them. That's the only way I'm wearing some shot blockers.
It is, if you're about hockey style, that is so dust for the shot blockers, but they work.
I just feel like a 6-year-old whose mom still dresses him if I do all that. There again, like I'm married. I have a wife that's kind of like, hey, if she listened to this podcast, I would probably get a phone call shortly after it was over being like, hey, wait, there's more protective equipment that you can wear and you don't wear it. Why are you not doing that? And so my wife would want me to do that just because she doesn't want to see the hospital bills and also doesn't want to like just have to deal with it in general, I think. But I don't know. That stuff is restrictive to me. I'd rather play without it. But I mean, look at the NHL. The NHL, I don't know what the percentage is, but probably 80-90% of the guys now are all wearing half visors. I heard another podcast talking.
They have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, not all of them do. I'm sure it's
because they were grandfathered. They were grandfathered, and they just made the rule, I want to say 8 years ago, that if you're just entering the league, you have to wear.
So I get a feeling what's coming is they're going to mandate bubbles here pretty soon. And these guys that were talking on this podcast, they were saying the same thing. Like, oh, you'd be an idiot. Why not just go ahead and wear? It was all centered around Bedsy's broken jaw or whatever.
Well, that was
and how he went to the bubble.
Fault. That was his fault.
Again, like whatever, whoever. But he went to the bubble, and these guys were talking about like, hey, he should just stay with the bubble. He's playing, more carefree and less cautious and blah 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 blah. I always felt like guys that kept wearing cage into adulthood were the most careless guys with their sticks. Like they're the ones that were high sticking guys in the face, trying to stick check and whacking people in the nose and the mouth and stuff like that. And so I've always had I don't know. I've always felt some kind of way about guys with cages. Now, I get that's not the whole thing. Like, I know you, obviously, you're very careful with your stick and you've worn a cage, but you also went a long period of time where you didn't wear a cage.
Yeah.
And so, but one of my guys on my team has probably worn a cage his whole life. And he's a younger guy, and he got a little high with his stick on a guy that I know. We were playing against him in A-League, and he got a little high with his stick on accident. I think he may have got the guy in the face. Again, total accident. It wasn't like a careless stick. He went to stick check the guy, and the guy moved his hands. And so it was just kind of a bad coincidence.
Right.
And the first thing out of the other guy's mouth, who happened to not be wearing a cage, was like, effing guys in cages don't know what they're doing and all. So there is this like feeling around some guys that like, hey, if you're wearing a cage, you're probably an irresponsible skater, or you're going to be an irresponsible guy with your stick kind of thing. And so again, I don't know that that's a universal thing where everybody feels that way, but I've definitely heard that statement more than once when it comes to guys who have a cage versus don't have a cage. So I don't know, man. To me, at this point, it's preference. I get player safety and stuff. We're all adults. Like, we can choose what we want to wear and not wear. I mean, I know guys that don't wear elbow pads.
That's
straight
crazy.
Up. I think that's the most lunatic thing I've ever heard.
That's crazy.
Is a guy playing in a beer league and not wearing elbows. You can that whatever that like burl sack or whatever that's in there that you can rupture inside your elbow, dude. Forget that. You can chip it. I was listening to Oshie was advertising in his was that War Road stuff the other day.
War Road, yeah.
And
the Tilo stuff.
Is that that's the under? Yeah, it's the Tilo stuff. That's right. It's the so the bottom of the shirt actually folds back up and over the elbow pads. And Oshie said he's actually chipped the his elbow bone like 2 or 3 times because his elbow pads slide down his arm. And I'm like, gee, I don't understand how guys cannot wear. That's the craziest thing to me.
I actually thought about buying the Tilo because I like the fact that you can just pull that over your elbow pads and it keeps them in place. And I went,
if I would have seen that, before I ordered my elbow pads, I probably would have not ordered new elbow pads, stuck with the old ones because they're comfortable, and just bought that Tilo. Yeah. But I do like how it has the integrated neck guard in it. And that is something that I don't know why I don't want to wear a cage, but I am more willing to put on something with some kind of neck guard and some kind of cut guard for my arms, just because
Corey wears a neck guard.
I know.
I got one for my birthday, or I got one for Christmas. I haven't worn it yet.
I don't want a big bulky one. I'd prefer something that's slim, but anything that's going to kind of, because I don't know. I guess my thinking behind that is why I don't do the cage or the other stuff is like, I'm probably not going to die on the rink if I lose my teeth, but like if I get cut with something by some fluke accident on my wrist or my neck, like very real possibility, like I could bleed a lot and be in really, really serious trouble before I can get to medical help. So yeah, that's the reason I would consider doing something like that versus like, hey, I'm not really interested in putting a cage on.
I'm going to wear the neck guard now. I'm going to give it a whirl, see what it's like.
The only familiarity I have with neck guards are like the old bulky, like, hey, we took 17 turtlenecks off of these sweaters and sewed them into a neck guard. Yes. Here you go. I'm like, nah, I don't want to feel like I'm wearing like a neck stability device. Like I can't do the neck brace deal or like the big foam neck guards things. Like I can't do those. So I got to find something that's got it integrated into like an undershirt or something that's like a short sleeve version of it or whatever. So, cause like I said, it's our rink's too hot right now to keep constantly wear a long sleeve undergarment. So, but anyways, well, that's equipment talk. I know there's probably a bunch of more we could talk about, and we'll have another pod. We'll talk about some other stuff because there's some things, other stuff we didn't really touch on that we could probably get into a little bit more. So, but yeah, let us know what you think, guys. If you think I'm a complete idiot for not wearing stuff, please chime in. You'll not be the first person that told me I'm a moron. Abdu tells me on the regular I'm an idiot. So, but it's okay because I think he's an idiot too. because he does dress up like Bubble Boy. So if you feel like Abdu's a moron for wearing too much equipment, jump in the comments and let him know. But yeah, we appreciate you guys listening. Appreciate you guys following. Share it with your friends. Tell your family all about it. Embarrass Abdu some more on some of these podcasts with his own insanity. So, guys, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.